Jai Shri Ram. Are you spending quality time with Krishna? Do you read the Bhagavad Gita every day, at least a few shlokas? Or the selected shlokas? We can actually make out a list of selected shlokas which we can read every day. Let's do that. I'll do that, okay? From each chapter, not too many. But maybe within half an hour you should be able to chant them. So let me do that. I'll do that. Next, from survival of the fittest to the sacrifice by the fittest. No great thing can be achieved without sacrifice. In fact, great sacrifices are needed for great achievements. Okay. Today's medals will become tomorrow's trifles. So don't be obsessed about recognition and medals. Loka vasana, deha vasana, shastra vasana. Get rid of all this. Loka vasana, the desire to be recognized and honored and all that. Get rid of that. Shastra vasana, the pride that naturally comes when you have read a lot. Get rid of that. Even if you have read a lot, what we know is hardly anything. What we know is less than 1/1,000,000th of 1% of anything. Thomas Alva Edison. So Shastra Vasana, Deha Vasana. Deha Vasana is obsession for the body. Beautifying the body, taking care of the body, going to the gym, doing all that. All that is good. There is no harm. But overdoing it, being physically strong is very good. But then what about the Atma? No, any cosmetics for the soul? Now this word soul is a very limited concept in Christianity and Islam. They believe that only humans have soul. But in Hinduism we believe that even stones have soul. Plants, animals, all. In fact, we can be born as a plant or tree or animal, dog, pig, whatever. So, and the double slit experiment confirms that. The electron seems to be aware that it is under observation, therefore, consciousness is the ultimate reality. That is what the double slit experiment confirms. So, the word soul, you have to be careful when you are using it. Atma, okay. So, Deha Vasana. Deha Vasana is the obsession for the body. So, Loka Vasana, Shastra Vasana, Deha Vasana. Rama cautions that these are three things, in Rama Gita and Muktika Upanishad. Muktika Upanishad. Rama and Hanuman conversation. Rama Gita is Rama and Lakshmana conversation. So, you will find that Rama is cautioning against Loka Vasana, Deha Vasana, Shastra Vasana. Okay. So, do we have to lose everything before we lose our blindness? Are we winning the misery championship? People are malicious because they are miserable. People are malicious because they are miserable. And the world is pointless without Krishna. Attachment makes the absent present. This attachment is the main problem. What went wrong with the great materialist dream? Communism and capitalism both think that wealth is the cure. Wealth is the cure for all problems. Whereas in Hinduism we have Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, all four are important. And merely just wealth alone, they are focusing only on wealth. We are talking about Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, all four. So that is where the difference lies. Capitalism and communism both are fundamentally flawed because of their overcommitment to wealth as the panacea. Okay. Krishna respects your cognitive intelligence. That is why he says, Itite jnanam akyatam guhyat guhyatram maya vimrushai tad aseshena yadhechasi tadhakuru. Yeah? I have told you all that you need to know. Now do whatever you like. That freedom is always there. That is free will. Krishna transformed a battlefield into a classroom. So, that's the beauty. Life is a battlefield. Life is the Kurukshetra. Our worst fears will give rise to our best hopes actually. Do you have the courage to question yourself and question your own questions? Why are you asking these questions? You should be asking some more fundamental questions which you are not asking. That's why. Do you have the courage to question your questions? Do you have the courage to question your strongest convictions? Huh? So, read the Bhagavad Gita, try to understand what Krishna is saying, the more deeper meanings of shlokas, and try to live up to that. Okay? Are you strong enough to admit that you are not strong enough? Huh? We are not strong enough. That is why anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam rakshishyati iti vishwasaha. Karpanyam means humility. That means admitting that you can't follow any of these yogas, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, karma yoga, raja yoga, babu. I am not able to follow any of them. I am such a dud. Life has caused me enough headaches. I am not able to follow. Therefore, please save me. Karpanyam. And Goptrutva Varanam. Now, that is a phrase which means His grace, His Anugraham is the only hope. So, we must acquire the eligibility. So, then you can become a Prapanna. Prapanna means one who has surrendered to Krishna. So, and then Atma Nikshepam. Atma Nikshepam means total surrender. Your life is the oblation. Our life is the offering. We are offering our life to Krishna. Everything that we do is an offering to Krishna. That is Atma Nikshepa. Peace bought at the cost of justice is the worst crime. What you do reflects on what you do. Our adversity introduces a man to himself. Adversity. So when you get into problems, don't lose control. Don't get emotionally hijacked. Accept responsibility. Yeah? And accepting responsibility begins with accepting responsibility for irresponsibility. Those who overestimate their intelligence underutilize their potential. Trouble actually helps us find ourselves. Our values are our real valuables. People lose their way, but a smart person loses his way in order to find his way. But it's not necessary that you have to lose your way, which means you don't have to start drinking and smoking and then realize it's bad. You don't have to start that at all. Please don't. The most important question is life making sense at all? Life is not making any sense. We don't seem to be different from animals. They too are born, they eat, sleep, fight, mate, produce children, and one day they die. So same thing is happening with us also. So where is the moksha sadhana? And all of us are in the same boat and the boat is sinking. Yeah? And madly running after new things, new fashions. Snobbery is going on increasing. But at the end, people die and they are forgotten very quickly. But this rat race continues. All of us are in the same boat and the boat is sinking. The world is a station, not a destination. Okay? We don't own anything. Things may belong, but for how long? So you are a temporary owner, not the real owner. You are a possessor actually. Spiritual life also, in many sects and denominations I have seen, spiritual life itself is dry and tasteless. Whereas Krishna Bhakti and Gita Gyan, to fully understand Gita, you have to emulate Krishna in every sense. The way he dresses, the way he talks, the way he walks. Madhurashtakam. Try to live up to the Madhurashtakam. Adharam Madhuram. So be like Krishna. So Krishna is a God who is always smiling, laughing, dancing, singing. And in other religions you will find that the gods are angry, psychopathic, they want the blood of innocent lambs and chicken. Now, these are stupid, psychopathic, idiotic gods. As is the votary, so is the deity. Or as is the deity, so is the votary. So be like Krishna. Krishna is yourself. then that is life. Otherwise, even spiritual life, they'll wear some dull, colorless white or some clothes like that without any tilakam, no ornamentation, and they will sit in meditation in dark rooms with some light, some red light, small bulb, and all kinds of nonsensical abstract talk. They'll keep throwing abstractions at you. It don't make any sense. They will talk about big things which don't make any sense. So once there was a Krishnamurti, JK, not the Jiddu, there was another Krishnamurti who went and asked Ramana Maharshi, can you give me moksha? Simple question. A great man, can you give me moksha? And Ramana Maharshi replied, can you take it? That fellow ran away. And after that, I believe he stopped going to gurus. So, can you take it is a wonderful question. Can you take it? You can't take it, man. So, you need to have the capacity to take moksha, okay? Yeah. A tiny crack, a mighty crash. A tiny crack, mighty crash. उत्तिष्ठ जागृत प्राप्य वरान् निबोधत क्षुरस्सन्न क्षुरस्य धारा निशिता दुरत्यया क्षुरस्य धारा निशिता दुरत्यया. So a tiny crack, in fact a small slip and a mighty fall, mighty crash. Most people are hitting the bullseye of the wrong target. Hitting the bullseye of the wrong target. We have to first fight the inner war, Arishad Vargas, the inner enemies. The inner enemies. Arindamaha, one who has conquered the inner enemies. That is Rama and Krishna. Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Madha, Matsarya, inner enemies. The Gita lives through those who live the Gita. The Gita lives through those who live the Gita. Become a warrior, not a warrior. Warrior, not a warrior, always worrying, chronic worry. Worry and guilt, these are useless emotions. Worry and guilt are the most useless emotions. What is the cure for worry? Action. Take some action, stop worrying. And if you look back in your life, when you go back, let us say, go back 10 years, go back 20 years, go back 30 years, stand there and watch and see. Go back 10, 20 years, stand there and watch. Look at what all has happened in your life. And you will come to realize that all that has happened in your life was never decided by you. But things happened. Maybe small things you have decided, some willpower is there, some free will is there. But if you look back, the truth will dawn on you that all the major changes, the big things that have happened, you never willed it that way, but they have happened. Which means that Krishna is running the show. Your prarabdha is going to decide. So, you must therefore not bother too much. If you are a Krishna Bhakta, he will anyway take care of you. Partha naiveha mutra vinashastasya vidyate nahi kalyana krut kaschit durgatim tata gacchati name bhaktya pranashyati. That also he said. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. I think it's 9th chapter 31. So Krishna is saying, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Very soon he becomes a dharmatma. Shashvat shantim nigacchati. Okay? Shashvat shantim. Lasting peace, nigacchati, attains. Kaunteya. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati. Kaunteya pratijanihi, declare. Kaunteya, go and declare. Name bhakta pranashyati. My devotee never perishes. Krishna is giving you. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyate. Your greatest stumbling block is you yourself. The greatest threat to individual freedom is the individual. So get out of your way first. We should be products but not prisoners of our past. Make peace with your past. Don't bother about the past. This movement is important. Study the Gita, live the Gita. Don't indulge in gossip. No prajalpa, don't become a flibberty gibbet. Tell people also, warn them not to use your mind as their dustbin, putting all kinds of nonsensical thoughts. So every thought, you see, our ears cannot be closed. Na? So buy some ear muffs so that you can close your ears. Otherwise, people will start dropping rubbish into your ears. That means they are using your mind as their dustbin. And it's nuisansical. It's a nuisance. It's a headache, really. The black hole of lust is devouring us. The black hole of lust is sucking us up completely. So, the black hole of lust is devouring us. If you are riding a tiger, then getting down is very difficult, and you are actually riding the tiger into its lair, and then you will become its dinner. So, lust is like an insatiable fire. Dushpurena analena cha. Insatiable fire. Any amount of ghee being poured into the fire does not satisfy the fire. It will actually ask for more. Same thing with sense pleasures. Okay. Lust is therefore both vicious and voracious. Be careful. This is actually pain, and we are mistaking it to be pleasure. And when you mistake this to be pleasure, then you are actually sentencing yourself to perpetual misery. So, is it a welcome tune or alarm bell? It is never too late and it is already too late. It is never too late and it's already too late, and we are actually pinching a sleeping tiger. The mind is the biggest problem. What is bothering you right now? The only thing that's bothering you right now is your own mind. Yeah? That is why chitta vimukti, freedom from the bondage of the mind, is possible when you dedicate yourself to Krishna. Chitta vimukti. Karya vimukti would mean total emancipation. Once you dedicate all work to Krishna, then that is karya vimukti also, because the reactions won't affect you. Stop worshipping false gods. Please understand who is God, the definition of God. Aishwarasya samagrasya viryasya yashasa shriyah jnana vairagya yoschaiva shannam bhaga iti rana. Bhaga asya asti iti bhagavan. Stop worshipping false gods, you are wasting your time. Many people claim they know Gita as if they may know, but do they understand? We may know, but do we understand? So please stop saying that you already know the Gita. And don't be a victim of any personality cult. And stop outsourcing your thinking. All the Shastras are there, but your mind is also there. Use your mind. Use your mind, please. It's the most powerful computer that Krishna has given you. You're not using it. Shraddha. Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Dhrudo Vishwasaha Shraddha. Adi Shankaracharya defined it thus. The inner war is the bigger war. In fact, that is the biggest war. See, we have to move from matter alone matters and reach the stage where matter doesn't matter. Matter alone matters. From there to matter doesn't matter. Happiness is the way. There is no way to happiness. And our assumptions about happiness are actually depriving us of all happiness. Find happiness in the small things of life, because the big happinesses are already decided by prarabdham. So you can circumvent the whole thing, but finding happiness by finding happiness in the small things of life. Happiness is the way. And Krishna's ways are not always pleasant, but definitely benevolent, always benevolent. Some lessons are being taught to us, but it's all right. They may be unpleasant lessons, but they are valuable and benevolent. Remember, Krishna is there with us all the time. Hari Jagannatha Paramnarayana. Hari Jagannatha Paramnarayana Arikillundallo Tunayayi Eppozhum. Tanchan, Malayali poet, said, When everyone abandons you, Krishna is just beside you. Don't forget that. When everyone abandons us, Hari, the Lord of the universe, Narayana, is always by our side. Hari Jagannatha Parannarayana Arikillundallo Tunayayi Eppodum. Malayalam. Is always there. Krishna is always beside you. Upadrashta Hanumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha Paramatmeti Chapyukto Dehesmin Purushah Paraha. Say the mind is predictably dangerous and dangerously unpredictable. You are not the mind. Evam buddhe param buddhva samstabhyatmanam atmanah jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. You are not the mind, you are beyond the mind. The mind is just a tool. It is a product of nature, prakriti. So mind is ridden with the gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. So the mind is like a chimpanzee sitting on your shoulders. It is predictably dangerous and dangerously unpredictable. Bring the mind under control. Otherwise, vayurnavami vambhasi. Otherwise, the mind will carry your, just like a boat on waters will be carried away by a gust of wind. So the mind is the tormentor, not a mentor. When the mind cries wolf, know that the mind is the worst wolf. Just observe your mind, how it is working. And once the mind realizes that its tricks are not working on you, it will become like a puppy and it will follow you. You definitely need a break from the mind. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita chanting every day will provide you the break. Bhakti is not a part of life. Life is a part of bhakti. By believing rubbish, you are actually violating your own human rights. In fact, your own spiritual rights. Every human has spiritual rights. So people are always talking about human rights, but what about spiritual rights? Because we are all spiritual beings, so we have spiritual rights. You are violating your own spiritual rights if you are believing nonsense. Stupid religions which are teaching lechery, butchery and treachery and asking you to slit necks. And also, foolish babas and all kinds of jokers being worshipped as Bhagwan. So please don't violate your own human rights. It takes a lot of intelligence. It takes great intelligence to recognize that intelligence is not great enough. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. The Veda says at some point the mind will come back saying that God is incomprehensible. So that is where bhakti comes in. And bhakti is not blind faith and shraddha. Shraddha is not blind faith. Okay? Aptavakyam. Ramanuja, Shankara, Madhva. Oh, a galaxy of sants have declared that this is the truth. So we can believe them. Just as you would have believed that so and so is your father because your mother told you. That is Aptavakyam. Because they are our well-wishers. Okay. Are you changing the world in your own way or is the world changing you? It's almost always with everyone the world changes us. We must make some effort. Set some small ripples in motion. Don't be fanatical, but be fanatically focused. Be not fanatical, but fanatically focused. Are we respecting Krishna's rights? Krishna's rights. Have you ever thought about God's rights? We are always praying to God, but God is also praying to us. Krishna, as our eternal friend, is also praying to us because he loves our company. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam ruksham purishasvajate parishasvajate tayor anyaha pippalam swadvati anashnan anyo abhichakashiti. What about Krishna's rights? Have you ever thought about that? So, take a healthy diet, mental diet, not a deadly diet. Stop putting rubbish into your body. So also, don't let people put rubbish into your mind. Miracles happen all the time. Miracles are not against science, they are above science. Science is too, young to understand dharma. Science is too immature. Science is too young. Science is myopic. Scientists are myopic, short-sighted, because they study only matter. And consciousness is something that we all experience, isn't it? When an animal dies, we say that it has its body is here, but it has left. So what is that it? Science is not studying. So science is myopic. Miracles are not against science, they are above science. But all kinds of strange miracles are there. This is all cooked up to fool us. So be careful. Happiness is always a byproduct, never a product. Happiness is the way. Happiness is always a byproduct, never a product. Is spiritual shopping taking the place of spiritual seeking? People are doing a lot of spiritual shopping. Just sit at one place, study the Gita. That is sufficient. Of course, you can go around, take a fresh breath, meet people, there is no harm. But stop spiritual shopping. Stephen R. Covey's time management matrix is very important. Please read about that. It can change your life. Stephen R. Covey, who is a Krishna Bhakta, time management matrix from that book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So from Mission Impossible, we can move to Mission Unstoppable. Mission Impossible. From Mission Impossible to Mission Unstoppable. Remember, you are never too small to do a big task and never too big to do a small service. So don't believe in stupid rituals. Kali Yugam, your longevity is not guaranteed. So if you hang on to straws, then you are wasting your life. Are you holding on to a straw instead of a lifeline? Gita is the lifeline. Okay. So what does Krishna want? Krishna is Nitya Trupta. He doesn't need anything. So don't kill animals, innocent animals. That's the dumbest thing that you can do. You will incur more papam actually when you sacrifice innocent animals. The Vedas are completely opposed. They distorted the Vedas and told us that in the Vedas cows and even humans Narameda was done. This is all rubbish, lies. So that's why Krishna clearly said Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhaktyupahritam Ashnami Prayadatmana. So, and what is the thing that Krishna wants? What you can offer is your heart, mind and soul, totally dedicated to Krishna. That is what he doesn't have, so offer that. Be grateful for everything you can live without. There are so many things we can live without. Be grateful to that. Whenever I go to any mall, I go once in a while just for the fun of it, just to look at how the world is going on. And I keep telling myself how wonderful. There are so many things that I don't need. So many things that I don't need. And I'm grateful for everything that I can live without. So take the EQ test and get out of the emotional cocoon. Get out of your emotional cocoon. Don't let emotional hijacking finish your life. Because where emotions reign, society will become sick. It's already sick. And don't blame anybody. Don't seek scapegoats. And don't try to become a martyr also. Accept responsibility. Everything that happens in your life is because of your prarabdha. Krishna is already there. He is the umpire. He is watching. So he will not give you a 6 if you have got clean bowled on the first ball. So Krishna is the umpire. And the umpire will not give you 6 if you score 4. So you have to do your work. Get out of the emotional cocoon and don't look for shortcuts. Be a karma yogi. Devotion is the emotion that takes you beyond all other emotions. And bad times will test your shraddha. And so also good times. Good times also will test your shraddha. Okay? You must have such a strong inner drive which is beyond cheers and jeers. Beyond cheers and jeers. Your inner sanctuary. Bhagavad Gita. Build a temple for Bhagavad Gita in your heart. So lots of philosophies, all these philosophies are actually philosophical banana peels. Very shallow philosophies. And don't watch too much TV. In fact, watch carefully. Regulate. Otherwise you will be dulled and lulled into becoming dumb and dumber. Because insanity is not compulsory, you see. Insanity is not compulsory. And don't try to live someone else's life. Get rid of all snobbery. Don't imitate fashion set by the rich and look down on the others. Don't do that. and get a clear understanding of what is liberty. Eh? Liberty which ends in slavery is nonsense. Is the purpose of life eating and getting fat and fatter? Is that the purpose of life? Nah. So please examine that. What is the purpose of life? Teleology. Why are you there? Everything has to have a purpose. So there must be a purpose behind your existence. Find out. Being different is considered very important, but differences that make a real difference are necessary, not differences that don't make any real difference. Okay. See, most people are living their life upside down, in fact, walking upside down, which means, Chinmayananda, Swami Chinmayananda said this to a gathering some time long ago. You're all walking upside down, especially, I think, somewhere in the Gulf. Walking upside down, what he meant was, you are giving first importance to sex, second importance to food, third to feelings, and last to your brain, your mind. Actually, you see, the mind is at the top, heart below, food and the genitals are at the bottom. So this is the priority by which we should actually live our lives. But ulta, the priority is now ulta. That's why people are walking upside down. And are we meant to be characters in a cartoon show? No, you're not a cartoon. So enlightened hedonism, that's what Krishna will teach you. You're drinking too much poison to quench your thirst. Okay, don't drink poison. So people, you see, spiritual breakdown, mental breakdown, then spiritual breakdown, complete spiritual breakdown. So studying Gita will make sure that you will not spiritually break down. Stop comparing yourself with others. That's a futile pastime of the mind. Compare only yourself with yourself. 10 years back, how were you? Today, how are you? And improve your personality, study the Gita, live the Gita, be a karma yogi. Be with Krishna, because Krishna loves you, he wants you to be with him. The Bhagavad Gita guarantees ultimate success. Becoming a Krishna Bhakta is the greatest achievement in your life. And the determination to serve Krishna is victory. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanuttaraha Tatra Sri Vijayor Bhutir Dhruvanitir Matir Mama. Jai Shri Ram.